You gotta fix that clock.
Yeah.
Call the city council meeting to order Tuesday, February 8th at 7 p.m. Located in City Council Chambers, 2434 Vermont Street, Glenwood, Illinois. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderman Fairwell,
Here.
Alderman Rita,
Here.
Alderman Montoya,
Here.
Alderman McGee,
Present.
Alderman Carr,
Here.
Alderman Roll.
Here.
Forum. Begin with the presentation of journal proceedings. We need a motion to approve the city council minutes from January 25th, 2022, the regular meeting of the city council. Is there a motion from Alderman McGee, second by Alderman Roll? Question? Not clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya,
Aye.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Besides, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Public comment? Is there any public comments?
Hi, good evening. My name is Kathy Gardner. I'm a resident of Glenwood for 23 years. I served this community for 23 years, 9 years at Metro South in the emergency department. We've been closed for 2.5 years, and our ambulance service has not transitioned to ALS. We're currently BLS. And it was my understanding when they closed, we were going to transition over. We have longer commute times to the different hospitals, and we're really putting our residents, Glenwood's doing a great job, but they're really putting our residents at risk for long transit times and emergencies that will possibly alter their life. We're already at with the ALS and BLS.
Make a generic statement. More than half our fire department are ALS. We're just not completely there yet. It takes time to transition over. The process has started.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. I understand that. I've been in emergency world for 14 years, going on 15. And I work at a hospital that Blue Island brings patients to. And this is my community. Even though I don't work in the community anymore, I still take care of the community. I'm seeing bad outcomes by not transitioning over to ALS. It's affected my family personally. Do we have a time frame or a thought? I know you just have taken over, but before you, when was supposed to transition over? What are you doing about that?
Not really much I could say. It's public comment. I've already given the courtesy of answering more, but this is an issue that's ongoing.
Okay, I appreciate your time. I just want everyone to know the importance of our ambulance service being able to take care of our community with all the tools they need. Right now, they're really limited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
My name is Manuel Gonzalez. I'm an employee of I work in Blue Island, and I just want to know that I did send a letter to Alderman First Ward, Fourth Ward, talking about safety, the pathway to get to me from the parking lot to Marine Valley, and I just wanted to see how can I be more safety to enter from the parking lot to the building for Marine Valley. I know the alderman has stated that he felt like felt that salt wasn't in the budget for that pathway or that alley. And I just wanted to know, how can that be more safely used for that parking lot? Also, I know it was a big storm, but a snowstorm, but the path to lead from that parking lot to Moraine Valley was impassable when I came in on Monday. I tried to come into work on Monday. But it's still, I just wanted to know how as a governor of Blue Island, how can you safe for safety reasons?
We're gonna look into that.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Good evening, everyone. I'm the executive director of Progress Center. Actually, Manuel, he works for me. And as Manuel said, we are struggling with our employees, because most of our employees are people with disabilities. And the alley right there is, when we have this kind of storms, is very inaccessible. And I understand, Manuel sent an email to the alderman, and the response was there was no money in the budget to keep those alleys clean or clear. And I understand not all the alleys, but this alley is so important, not only for my staff, but the students. And I'm pretty sure there are some teachers who are old and are struggling to get in the building there. So I would appreciate if you look in the budget and find some money to keep that area clean, because, you know, we are paying taxes as well. So I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Now moving on to under the mayor's business, we need a motion for approval of payroll for February 4th, 2022, the amount of $362,058.91. There's a motion, Alderman Rita, is there a second? Alderman Roll. On the question? Now, clerk, please do the roll. Do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Next, we have a motion for approval of accounts payable to $340,325.29. Is there a motion? Alderman Fairwell, seconded by Alderman Carr. On the question? Alderman Fairwell.
I just have 3 items I'd like to just bring to council's attention, just so we're aware. And I corresponded with Mark, and he's given the answers, but I still think it's worth noting. One is there's a item for Burke Engineering of $18,179. And I requested that in the future, their invoices be broken down more with more specific line items, much as we've seen. You'll see in the invoice for Robinson Engineering this time, it's much more specific. And Mark explained that he would work on that, so that we'll look forward to that. Also, there's an item in here tonight for Hitchcock Design for $57,110.33. And we talked a lot about what's going on there. And it's all good stuff. But it is a significant amount of money, and we're working under an agreement. I guess it's like 6 years old. And we've got a new appropriation coming up. So I'm really just probably saying this, we need a new agreement at this point. It's pretty outdated, and obviously the scope of work has changed quite a bit. And I guess I'm grateful they're willing to continue on under the old agreement, but I'd rather see us, get a budget now for what we're doing and work under that. And finally, there's a item for Tinley Glass Corporation, $5,600 to replace the glass mill drive-through bank building, which is going to be utilized by Dave Siemens Group to, I guess, vaccines primarily, which is good. was explained to me that that amount was part of the agreement that we made with them, and it's being paid out of TIF funds. And I guess I'm okay with that. I'm not quite sure why we're doing that for them, but so be it. But anyway, I just wanted to note those items to council's attention.
Thank you. Any other questions? Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman Rego,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya,
Aye.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And we can do these separately or together. I'll do them separately, and then we'll do the same thing I think we did with the fire and police chief. I'll say a few words, we'll do the swearing in, and move on to the rest of the agenda, which is actually pretty light. One item. So we need a motion and a second for Jamie Schultz for deputy chief. Is there a motion? Motion made by Alderman Fairwell, seconded by Alderman Roll. On the question? Not clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
The motion carries. Next, we need a motion for Jason Slattery and Dennis Sepisi to fill the role of the two commander spots. Is there a motion? Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Montoya. On the question? Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell,
Aye.
Alderman Rita,
Aye.
Alderman Montoya,
Aye.
Alderman McGee,
Aye.
Alderman Carr,
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so police promotions. As you all know, public safety is now and will always be high on our list of priorities, especially me as mayor. I believe one of our chief responsibilities to the people of Blue Island is to do everything possible to ensure our community is safe, that we are effectively combating crime and together as a team working to create a safer Blue Island. These were the reasons Jeff Barr, as our new police chief, and I have the same enthusiasm that we present these structural changes to our police administrative structure. As I introduce each new position, I would ask the crowd to hold off on any applause reactions until the end. I was going to do a brief statement on each one of the 4 people I'm swearing in tonight. One is just taking the vacancy of another. So Deputy Chief Jamie Schultz has joined the Blue Island Police Department in 1995, completing 27 years, 20 of those in a supervisory capacity. Among his credentials, he has completed Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command, the Illinois Training and Standard Board's Police Executive role, and the FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Association program. Jamie has also served on the Suburban Major Accident Reconstruction Team and was partnered with Jammer for 4 years as the K-9 officer as well as supervisor at the Illinois State Police Academy. Commander Jason Slattery joined the Blue Island Police Department in 2005. Serving for over 16 years, he is the recipient of the 2013 Community Police Award and the 2014 Officer of the Year Award. Jason assigned to the Investigations Division for 8 years. He is a state certified field training officer, evidence technician, firearms instructor, and elderly service officer. He is also serving capacity as a police liaison to the building department, assisting with building code enforcement. Commander Slattery will primarily oversee the Bureau of Investigations, community engagement, and internal affairs. He is also currently attending the Illinois Training and Standards Board's police executive role. Commander Dennis Sepisi. He joined the Blue Island Police Department in 2006 and has served the city for over 15 years. He holds a degree in public safety management from Calumet College, St. Joseph. Dennis was assigned to the Investigations Division for the past 4 years, during which time he was assigned as a member of the South Suburban Major Crimes Task Force. He has served as both a field training officer and field training coordinator. He is also a state certified firearms and use of force instructor, as well as evidence technician. He is also completing the Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command in 2021, and is currently attending the Illinois Training and Standards Board's Police Executive Role. Commander Sepisi will primarily oversee the Patrol Division of Training. Sergeant Francisco Navarro. After serving 7 years in the U.S. Air Force, which included the deployment to Operation Desert Storm in Saudi Arabia, Sergeant Francisco Navarro joined the police department in 1998, serving for over 23 years. Since that time, he was assigned as a school resource officer for District 130 from 2001 to 2005, and then again to Eisenhower High School from 2009 to 2011. He has also been assigned to the Investigations Division for a number of years and served as both a field trainer and field training coordinator. Sergeant Navarro completed Northwestern University School of Police Staff and Command in 2019. He will attend the Illinois Training and Standard Board's Police Executive role once he is reassigned to the Bureau of Investigations. Each of these gentlemen are highly experienced law enforcement professionals and have strong roots in this community and the department. I strongly believe they represent the best in our department and will play a vital role in protecting our city. Please join me in congratulating Deputy Chief Schultz, Commander Sepisi, Commander Slattery, and Sergeant Navarro. Start with Deputy Chief Jamie Schultz. Good afternoon. I, Jamie Schultz,
I, Jamie Schultz,
having been appointed to the office of Deputy Chief
having been appointed to the office of Deputy Chief
in the city of Blue Island,
City of Blue Island,
in the county of Cook,
County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of Deputy Chief
of Deputy Chief to
to the best of my ability.
the best of my ability.
Congratulations. With the families. Chief. All right. Good after me. I, Jason Sledder, having been appointed to the office Commander in the city of Blue Island, the county of Cook, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of Commander
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Ready? Got luck, yes.
Congratulations. Next we have Commander Severson. Good afternoon. I, Dennis Evans,
I, Dennis Upson,
have been appointed to the office of Commander
having been appointed to the office of Commander
in the city of Blue Island,
in the City of Blue Island,
the county of Cook,
County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the state of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Commander
of the office of Commander to
best of your ability.
the best of my ability. Over here. Chief.
Congratulations. Sergeant Navarro. Yeah, for me, I'm appointed to the office of Sergeant in the city of Blue Island, County Clerk, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of sergeant to the best of my ability. Congratulations. One more. All right, thank you. Congratulations. All right, we only have one agenda item. If there's no opposition, we'll go to that. You know what, we'll break, in case anybody wants to get out of here. We'll take a short break. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. So Deputy Chief, Commanders, if you can say a few words, I appreciate it. It's the time now. I should have it earlier, I'm sorry. So Deputy Chief. I expect to be odd.
Mayor, Madam Clerk, and Councilman. Let me start out by saying I had a resounding speech planned for tonight, one for the ages. Keeping with the firemen and the police rivalry, Fire Chief Dave Haywood called me today and begged me not to stage his speech from last council meeting. So I'm going to keep it to a minimum. I have a unique knowledge of the city of Blue Island. I'm one of two officers who was born, raised, and continue to live within the city limits. Over 50 years ago, I was born to two of my superheroes. My dad was in the audience, and my mom was looking down on me, ever so proud. I also have a brother who I respect and miss, who's living in Key Largo, Florida. I remember growing up playing baseball on the west side for George Roll, beating the east side in the city series every year. I remember my mom and dad taking me to clients' apartment store to buy my gym clothes for District 130. I remember my first date in 7th grade going to the Lyric Theater. And I thank the Intello and Loretto family for bringing that back. I also remember walking across the street to Tiny Tots and walking down those creaky wooden floors to get wiffle balls when we ran out in the backyard. There's many other things I remember about my childhood that are amazing to Blue Island. Fast forward over 20 years, Blue Island Police Chief at that time, Robert Granman, took a chance on a 120-pound young man from the city of Blue Island as a part-time police officer. That was in 1991. That part-time police job led into a full-time police job, which has spanned over 27 plus years. I'm forever indebted to the city of Blue Island, as it has provided me with a career which has helped me raise two beautiful young children, financially support them as they graduate college. During the course of these 27+ years, I have been most fortunate to work with the finest police officers and the finest administrations in what I believe to be the best department in the area. Over these 27 years, I'd like to call special attention to a man who mentored me and took me under his wing. That would be Dave Schultz, who is no longer with us, unfortunately. We both joined the supervisory rank together, and I will forever owe him for my supervisory skills for 20+ years. Finally, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Mayor, Madam Clerk, and City Council members, along with Chief Farr, for your confidence you have in me. I will continue to work diligently alongside Chief Farr in moving the police department forward so it's safe for all citizens. And lastly, I apologize to Fire Chief Haywood for upstaging his speech. Thank you so much.
I can't beat that. Like, that was amazing. But I would like to thank my wife and my kids. I love them very much. Thank you. Thank the board, and thank the men that I work with, and the women that I work with. Thank the community as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Commander Steps.
Well, those are both very difficult speeches to upstage here. I'd like to take this time to say thank you to the mayor, clerk, all of the members of the city council, to Chief Farr for his continuing faith in me over the past year while I served as interim chief, for all the people standing behind me, family, friends, members of the city, and most importantly, the members of the police department behind me. Men and women I've served with over the last 15 years. I couldn't be prouder of all my friends and my work family. Although I'm not from Blue Island, I have very special connections to it. Most importantly, I've met my wife here. And if it wasn't for my job in Blue Island, I wouldn't have met her, and I wouldn't have my 3 wonderful sons here tonight. So thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to serving the community.
You got anything? I'm putting you on the spot with all that now.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a sergeant. I tried giving my all to the city of Blue Island, who basically I gave my youth to, been hurt and all those things. And like everybody else, Blue Island has given me everything. I'm going to try to give that back to Blue Island as I continue forward with my career. And thank you again for the opportunity as a sergeant. Thank you.
I forgot any of the aldermen or elected officials, any comments before break?
I just would like to congratulate you, each and every one of you. Your job on the police force, it really services the community. You know, this is a hard job. It's a really difficult job to do. So I hope that you guys have all of our appreciation for what you do every day.
Alderman.
Just have to say, as someone who's lived in town here for about 22 years, when I first moved in, I was so impressed with the police force. I have been continuously, and I know that we're continuing excellent hands. So thank you very much for your service.
I'd like to say congratulations. I have the utmost confidence in you gentlemen. You're going to do a great job. And thank you and congratulations.
I want to say thank you for all your hard work and congratulations.
I'd like to say congratulations, and that looks like an all-star lineup, and I'd like to see any other community try to beat that lineup.
I'd like to say congratulations to all of you. I'd just like to say congratulations to all of you. I know you're all very deserving, and I'm pleased to have the commander positions back. Congratulations and best of luck to all of you.
Yeah, congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
With that, we'll do a short recess in case you guys want to go out for dinner.
And now.
So a couple other comments. Yeah, good snowfall. Last week we saw most of the good snowfall this season. Let's get them on a Jane.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Good.
Yeah, there we go.
Good, all good. All right, so this past week we saw big snowfall. This crew did step up and got the job done. I also want to thank the Blue Island Police Department for their continued efforts to enforce the parking on snow routes, making it easier for our plows to fully clear the streets, and hopefully get a lot less bills and hidden cars. It is unfortunate these snow routes have not been enforced for the past several years, and as a result, many drivers have gotten used to not moving their cars. It will take some time to change the bad habits. We're going to change. It's best for the city, it's best for our drivers to get the job done. I also want to give a shout out to the Blue Island Park District staff as well as Pine Township staff for both while they're driving out to the different locations. Help you to clean up the streets while their plow was down instead of lifting it up and going to the next location. So I'd like to give them a shout out and thank you for their extra support. This week, several department heads participated in a briefing with the Illinois Department of Transportation to review the documents relating to regarding the safety improvements for the area around 27th and Sacramento. IDOT outlined short, intermediate, and long-term solutions to create a safer environment for students around both the high school and Memorial Park. Some of the short-term solutions the city has either already begun to implement or are planning to implement throughout the year. Other longer-term solutions will have to be considered as part of our budget appropriations process, as they will come with some costs. Me and my administrative team will continue working with the department and bring these ideas to council at the appropriate time. And I didn't join in the meeting today, but there was another brief update. I'm sure we'll hear about the committee meeting tonight from the meeting that happened today with IDOT. All right, moving on, we have city clerk's announcements.
All right, we are doing the hometown heroes. We're finalizing and hoping to have this all ready to go for next week. The banners are planned to be hung on Memorial Day through Labor Day. All of the surrounding towns are doing this also. We're working on a community cleanup for Earth Day, April 23rd. I'll have some more for you, some more information tomorrow for our community meeting. I also gave you a letter, an email from St. Benedict's. They're planning on doing an event on Good Friday. I approved it according to our, what is it? And but I wanted you guys to be aware of it in case anybody asks. So I just copied the email and the map. So we'll plan on doing that on Good Friday. So if you have any questions, I've already contacted the police department, the public works, and the fire department are aware of this. Black History Program is scheduled for February 26th. At 4 o'clock, we have a lot of speakers and performers lined up, so we are meeting regularly for that also. I'd like to give a shout out to Candace Carr for her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Candace.
And also, if you guys can tell, the microphones seem like a lot better tonight, so I would like to thank the police department. I know Chief Barr and Dennis FC had something to do with that, so I'd like to thank you for that. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. We have a treasurer's report in the packet. We need to approve it. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Motion by Alderman Fairwell, second by Alderman Roll on the question. Clerk, please do the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya. Alderman McGee. Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
6 ayes, Your Honor.
Motion carries. With the city attorney's business, we have an ordinance, and I'll preface on this before I even say it. The reason why it's on here. There was an incident on Mark 27th Street. Jim's calling me during the snowstorm, and he said, I just plowed Mark 27th. We did the arterial roads first, and this commercial property is plowing all their snow right to the middle of the street in 127th. I mean, mounds and mounds of snow. He sent a picture to me. I said, I called the police department, and they said there's nothing on our books to enforce anything to do with snow removal, putting it into the right of way. I said, put on the agenda, just a tweak in our current ordinance. This is not to go after residents that are doing 10 feet of sidewalk. This is for major scenarios, so tweaking the language, so there is repercussions for repeat offenders. I guess this person was told before not to do it, and they decided to do it anyway. And then they were blocking the sidewalk for students on school day, going Eisenhower and everything else. And once that stuff hardens on a sidewalk where Jim can't get to it, turns to concrete. So we're just tweaking the ordinance to have some kind of repercussions for people that constantly take advantage of it. Don't stop when they're told, please don't do this. That's it. So we did a motion and a second to tweak our ordinance on the streets and sidewalk chapters 97 and the Code of Blue Act. Is there a motion? Motion by Alderman Fairwell, second by Alderman Carr. On the question? If not, clerk, please read the roll.
Alderman Fairwell.
Aye.
Alderman Rita.
Aye.
Alderman Montoya.
Aye.
Alderman McGee.
Aye.
Alderman Carr.
Aye.
Alderman Roll.
Aye.
Motion carries. Attorney's report. David Paul tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff tomorrow, guys. City administrator, anything for tonight?
Before Tom talks, also happy birthday Nancy, she had a birthday this week, I believe.
Thank you. Yeah.
Get a couple things out of the way, so we're not doing it tomorrow. Tom Logan, City Administrator. So I've had a couple of discussions at various levels with some members of the council in regards to where we're at with the appropriations. That is coming up here pretty soon. So we are working through the process right now. Myself, Deputy Administrator Pataska, and Alderman Roll have had meetings so far with the fire department, police department, building department, and this is one, and there it'll come to me. And then we're planning on finishing up our department meetings this week. We're also meeting with our accountants to kind of begin what is now the skeleton of the appropriations. So just as a schedule update, our intention is to have a first draft by the February 22nd council meeting, a final draft on the March committee of the whole, with the understanding that then we have to post it for 10 days, and then we'll call a special hearing at the council's convenience. We'll choose that date based on just some Q&A with the council members. After 10-day posting, in March, we intend to pass it. So that's the schedule we're working with right now. It obviously got a little bit delayed by lack of financial information, but we are at least got a little bit more moving now. Quick, just to dovetail off what the mayor said in regards to the IDOT recommendations and what's available in terms of potential funding. We do have a document that reflects that. I went forward to the council. I've got a couple hard copies of it here, but it basically lays out short, intermediate, and long-term plans, so potential funding sources. They are not coming and saying we're going to pay for everything, so that's going to be an ongoing conversation about especially the longer-term physical infrastructure solutions and what those cost and how they play into the city's upcoming appropriations and our budget priorities. And then lastly, our codification is complete, if you remember that from last year. So codification is complete. We're just proofreading it now and getting ready to send it to the printer. All the council members will obviously, it'll be online, electronic copies, but then also they do nice little binding versions for each council member. It wasn't that expensive, so we got a few extras as well of those. But it has good practice to have an fully updated code that you can reference quickly. But I think the attorneys will be very good to make life a little easier in terms of basic research and things like that. So that's all I have. Unless there's any questions.
Any questions from the council? Thank you. Thank you. Any automatic announcements, reports for council, Alderman Reed?
The Public Works Department, and thought they did a fantastic job with snow removal. I also wanted to thank the fire department. We had a fire on the east side, and they're professional and prompt service. And also I wanted to, I have something I'd like to read that I have regarding the ALS. So earlier this week, I had a conversation with Maureen Featherstone. I also received a letter. The school nurse at Eisenhower High School. She expressed her support for upgrading our ambulance service to advanced life support ambulances, or ALS. Ms. Featherstone provided me with information on the value of the advanced care that ALS ambulances can provide, including administering potentially life-saving medications and procedures. I've had the chance to discuss with Chief David Haywood and learn more about the extensive process required to make this significant upgrade. I've also asked the administrative team to provide some more detailed information on the potential costs and return on investment to the city. It's my understanding that a move to upgrade our ambulances and paramedics to ALS will be a part of our ongoing contract negotiations with the firefighters, as well as potentially part of our upcoming appropriations ordinance. It is my hope that we can all work together to fully weigh out the options, have a clear understanding of the costs and benefits, and develop a plan that represents the best outcome for our residents. I also want to personally thank Ms. Featherstone and Chief Haywood for their time and information, and I look forward to further discussions in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor?
Yeah, thank you. Again, I'll also say, I thought the city public work group did a fantastic job. I got a couple people comment to me right after the snowfall that they had been driving through some other suburbs, and when they came into Blue Island, there was a clear difference in that the streets were much cleaner. And I don't doubt it, they did a great job. And always under challenging circumstances, and I hope Jim's home enjoying a little bit of R&R tonight. He certainly deserves it. But anyone else pass on a couple of comments I've gotten from residents about just some concerns. One is about the towing, and I completely support and agree with the plan that you've implemented. It needs to be done. There's no reason, if it's posted, people should not be parking on snow routes. But I think we probably need to be aware that there are some folks out there still who really are not plugged into the internet and so forth. And I got comments from a few people who just, I was kind of hard to believe, but they just didn't know still. So anything that we can do to move out the education on that, it's worth it doing. We all want those streets clear, and so, maybe just redouble the efforts to try to reach those folks who are not plugged in out there. And I want to also acknowledge the comments from Progress tonight. Yes, I was in touch with them. Passed on some concerns to the mayor and public works director, and I was very pleased that they did make a special effort to clear that alley. And I know it's not easy to do once the snow's down. But that's an area that we probably need to pay some special attention to going forward. And when we get into the appropriation this year, I'd really like to look at trying to find a way within all the other financial concerns we're going to have to, try to give public works maybe a little more support to be able to do some areas that they haven't been able to do in the past. But again, overall, I just do want to acknowledge an excellent job. Very well done. That's all. Thank you.
We're gonna have a meeting tomorrow night. There's a couple things on the agenda that are very open-ended that we've come across. I know I've only talked to a couple in the test today. Some things we might have to look in the future to curtail spending out of the city. Some old stuff. So on top of that, it might look like a small agenda, but at least probably be a lot of dialogue. At least to start the conversation without hurting anybody that's currently employed, and some other scenarios going down the line. So just be ready if you can. If there's any reason you cannot make tomorrow night, please give me a heads up, because it's a packed agenda and probably going to be the next few meetings. So, thank you. Do we need a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, I'll leave a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.